everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I carve a bison bust. Not just any bison bust, the one that's been running around my head for a long time with no body and no legs. I know, weird. Helen Keller once said, life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. And I tend to agree with her, because in this video, I'm going to dive into the land of bodiless bison. I know it sounds weird, totally weird, but I'm gonna do it. My name is Jeff Mohr. I'm the Northwoods Carver, and thanks for seeing what I saw. If you've ever seen any of my videos where I laminate things, this is the process. So we get our kiln dried beams and we square them up, because in the drying process they do come out of square. And even if they have been previously squared, they do move. So you gotta, as soon as you're done getting these things squared up, you gotta glue them up, because everything will move again, and it's a problem. Well, you'll see. I'll explain it now. Okay, everyone, this is my router sled. This is like a prototype, one I've been building, or I've had built a while back. You may have seen it in other videos. If not, then you're gonna see it now. So what I do is I glue up these beams, clamp them, get them all pretty close to the same thickness as much as I can, and then we'll clamp them up tight so that they're square and everything. And when it's all dried, we throw them on this machine, and we're able to make them perfectly flat and smooth so that there's no inconsistencies when we go to join these big chunks together. And because there's no gaps in between, there's not like, what the last thing you want is a big air pocket in the middle, you know, because when you start carving into it, then you have this big gap. So that's what we're trying to avoid by using this machine. All right, so let's get at it, shall we? And action. Now we're rolling the beautiful router sled footage. This is, you know, for me, a game changer. I've always been particular on my seams, and the best and only way that I could, you know, I think I watched a video at one point and saw a guy that had one of these, and I'm like, the light went off in my head, and I had to get one, and I couldn't afford one, so I had to build one, and I don't know how to build one, so I had somebody who's way better at that than me build it for me, and it worked out great. This is like our third prototype. But as you can see here, my wife and I are laminating all these pieces together, and it's important to get a nice snug, you know, fit, but you don't want to over clamp. That's a problem. And then I decided that I'm going to use a projector to project an image of what I wanted onto the boards. Thank you, Bill Canziora, he just dropped that off for me one day. He's only got 2 of them, so he gave me one. What a guy. Thanks, Bill. And here you can see me just kind of making way, trying to take some weight off of the big piece, just to somewhat find the shape again. And pretty much that's exactly what I'm doing here. And here's my wife helping me as usual. I'd like to take this time out to talk about my wife a little bit. She is amazing. She takes care of everything in the household, but then she has another job where she comes up and helps me, and she has the patience of a saint. And I just really appreciate her. Like, she is such a huge part of my career that, you know, I probably could have done it without her, but it certainly would not be the same. No way. Here we see myself, me, and myself and I. Get it? Me, myself, and I. We are getting after the eyes. You know, this is something that I was thinking about all night prior to coming out here. Is, okay, how am I going to do this? Is it going to line up with the other side? How far away is the eye from the nose to the horn? And, you know, this is where I started putting some depth into the furring and into the nostrils. And, you know, I was having so much fun. But it is very rough on the bar, I gotta say. As you can see, you know, it's not easy to do this type of furring, but it's rewarding, and hopefully you don't burn your bar up in the process. I know I was pushing it with mine. And I did happen to hit a couple screws. It wouldn't be a lamination. It wouldn't be a Jeff Mohr carving lamination if I didn't destroy at least one chain hitting screws that I forgot to pull or thought I pulled. And now I didn't want to burn it because I didn't want to oversplash. I didn't want to take too much definition away. So I just gave it a decent flap sand, and yeah. Now there was a point here where I took the horns off because they were too far back. I was doing some measuring on a bison, and I was like, are you kidding me? They're that close to they're way closer than I thought. So it bugged me enough to warrant me taking them off and then repositioning them, risking a lot. But I figured, you know what? It's a piece of wood. And if I can bring this project to this point, I'm pretty sure I can manage. I can figure it out. I did have to cut away some furring, and, to make flats to put the horns back in place, and then I decided, well, the horns were in the wrong place, so that means the ears are in the wrong place. So that's me figuring out where the ear's gonna go, and I'm like, well, I think I'm just gonna add ears. But how do I do that since I already furred it out right there? I know on some images it's almost impossible to see the ear because they just kind of lay back into the fluff that is a bison. And I decided to just cut a flat and add some ears, because there is some images where I see where you can see them clearly. So I wanted kind of a mix between the two, and it's very, for me it was like a vague ear. I didn't want to make it super dominant. I just wanted to be able to say that it has ears, I guess. And I did. I just put it on there and started, giving it a little detail, making it look kind of raggedy, like it got damaged in a fight with another bison, a bigger, badder bison possibly. But this is, this is the left side. And always be careful, folks, when you're doing lamination and you're putting screws in. Make sure you count the screws that you put in and maybe mark them, because this, I don't know if it was here. It was on the antler, the left side antler. Oh, and for the record, I carved like 5 different horns for this stupid thing. I mean, I thought I knew what they looked like, and then I had to re-look at it again, and then, as you're carving it, you're like, okay, is this the right side? Is this the left side? And you might think you got it, and it's actually the exact opposite. Now, here we are, taking this beast off of the platform that I built for it, specifically for this thing, and my wife is helping me kind of adjust it and maneuver it, and then we have to spin it around the other way because I have to do the underside of the beard. Obviously I could do that from the angle of that, so here I got a nice view of it. I can do some tucking and some nipping and whatever else needs to be done at this point. And I'm just trying to do the same similar style of furring there. It was a little trickier because it's a different angle, and it just, to me, it didn't look quite right. But when I painted it, it turned out okay. So this is the latex paint that I purchased. I believe this is not a gloss, but like not a matte, not a gloss. What the heck do they call that? That's the, anyway, it's somewhere in between. Satin, that's what it is. Exterior latex. Pam is helping me mount it back onto the stupid platform thing again. She's holding it up with all her might. It's totally hollow, guys. This piece is hollow and it's kiln dried, so it's not as heavy as it looks. But here's her doing her, and here's me doing me. Okay, everyone, it's time for me to break out some paints and try to put some color onto the texture. Okay, so when I do dry brushing, I don't know how about anybody else does it, I just get me a nice brush. I get these cheapos. I get a piece of cardboard. As you can see, I've used this before. And what I do is I take a rattle can. I'm sure there's other ways to do it, but this is the way I do it. You spray the can. You work it into the brush. You don't want to get this thing soaked like you dip it into a can. You just get it dry. That's why they call it dry brush. It's just, you work it in until it barely comes off. Then you come along and you're basically just fanning. But you got to be careful how you fan, because if you're pushing, you could potentially push the paint into these areas that you want left black or darker. So that's where the patina comes in. So this will be, and you also have to be careful about the direction in which the detail is going. So you want to go crosswise of the detail. So if your detail is going this way, you want to come this way. All you're trying to do is just get that detail, that very top section, to have some color. And that's what gives it that unique look. You see it a lot on concrete sculptures. They'll just paint it black and then hit it with white and call it a day. Well, this is a little bit more involved, but this is the basic tools. This, these, this, and that. All right, let's see how I do. Hindsight's 20/20 there, big guy. I already know how you did. I know all about it. Well, this is like, I'm just putting down a base. Like it's called warm caramel. It's one of my go-tos right after I put the black down. And some people would be fine with that. You know, just do that and it looks cool, right? Well, it does. But I wanted to just try to add some other colors, and you know, they also have a very unique eyeball. Their retina or whatever, the thing in the middle, is weird. It's like a rectangle, but it's going side to side. That's it, everyone. It's a wrap. I'm finished. I have conquered the beast that dwelled in my head, running around in my mind with no body or legs. Weird. This is the completed paint job. All of the colors that you can't see look so cool. So sorry about the lighting, but that's the way it is here at the Mojo Dojo. You just gotta come and see for yourself. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash the notification bell so you can see what's coming down the old Pikeroni next. And I will see you on the next one.